Welcome to the highly unpopular Talking Points, where I talk about things and people sometimes leave comments about what I want to talk about. And most of the time people just go, oh, this is a video where he's talking to his camera, I don't want to watch that. Today's talking point is on the idea of losing faith. I've been reflecting on this statement. This idea, people are losing their faith. You lost your faith. I lost my faith. I didn't really lose in the sense of I don't miss it. And some have said, well, of course you haven't lost it. You never had it to begin with. This special knowledge claim that's so sinister and evil at its core, but set that to the side for a moment. Did I lose something? No, I gained a lot more if I did lose anything. I certainly gained a lot more than I could have possibly lost, but I don't think that faith is useful in any meaningful way. You might say, well, I have faith in my friend or faith in my partner, but that's not faith. Not at least in the stance that it's thought of or presented of in many religions. Faith is an unwarranted belief in whatever. There's no proof of it. There's no anything there. There's nothing there. You just make this leap of faith. You literally just leap. I picture, say, Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade. Leap of faith. This huge pit. Now, he doesn't leap. I have a problem with this scene because he just takes one kind of big step forward. Like, he should have run and leaped. That would have made more sense. But at any rate, leaping into this pit where you're sure that you're going to fall down, and having the confidence that you're not going to fall down, even though there's every reason to think that you would. Also, the same scene, since I picked that analogy, after he gets across, he turns around and scatters the sand on this bridge. It's just optical illusion that it's invisible, I guess, so that the people coming behind him can make their way through, because otherwise they're going to kill his father. It's kind of odd that the obstacles that they all encounter in that are natural and mundane when they have a supernatural object at the end that restores life and heals. And if you stay inside there, you would be immortal. Although that point was, I don't think, really that clear, because I thought, like, oh, they're immortal now, and that's not the case. They still, they aged and whatever. So, but at any rate, to lose means, something akin to that. I lost somebody, that they're gone, that they're dead, or that my pet is lost. I can't find them. They're out there somewhere. I don't know where. And that's a horrible feeling. I lost my keys. Oh, man. Oh, that's just annoying. Now they have this little clip you can whistle for your key and it will beep. Like, you would be, I know I'd be like, and the dang thing wouldn't go off. I'd just be like, where the bleep is? And it'd be on something else, not connected to the keys. And I forgot to fix the autofocus on this. So this is like the worst video ever. Oh, I lost a subscriber. And there's a loss. Somebody left because I dared to make a silly, pointless video about toast bread. Now it's hidden, and you can only watch it if you have the link. But when I think about faith, the faith that is unwarranted, or just believe something because I just believe. It might feel good, it might feel terrifying, but I just believe it. Just really want it to be true, or I really want it to not be true. So I have faith in this. Every now and then I'll say, this video restored my faith in humanity. And there is kind of a faith there. I have this hope and fear that humanity as a whole will do well. I have a fear that we won't. A fear that we aren't. And then when I see something that counters that, it's like, okay, my faith has been restored in humanity. I'm not so afraid right now. I'm a little less afraid than I was. I have a little bit more faith than I did a moment ago. Although it's barely quantifiable at this even still at this moment, but it's getting higher than it was. Although I like to not have faith in my brain or in my life, I don't want to have it as much as possible because it's not logical. But I think, again, with the faith in humanity or what have you, that is based more on expectation. We could do so much if we just work together. We can go to Mars. We could totally colonize the moon within my lifetime, and I could go live there, and that would be awesome. And we could do the same with Mars, and that would be awesome. And I totally would live on the moon or on Mars. That would be just amazing. But we're not that cooperative, so we suck. we didn't quite live up to my expectations of what humanity could do. So I lost some faith thinking about it. But did I lose anything? I lost an unwarranted belief that I really didn't need to have in the first place. It's better to have facts, because then I know. I don't have to hope if I can have enough evidence that it will turn out okay. And many times that's left me in a world or a day of, I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I don't know if the bills are going to get paid. I don't know, what bills will be so overdue that, what will be shut off. Will it be electricity? Will it be water? Will it be, an eviction notice? What will happen? I don't know. But I also know that worrying about it, stressing about it, won't change it. So I just go, okay, well, that's what it is. Do what I can do to raise some money or get some money in, beg people, please be my Patreon. That's really all I can do that I know that I can do for sure. And that's it. So I don't need faith. And so therefore I didn't need to say I lost faith, but there's no other phrase to really use. I had faith. I had this belief, this unwarranted, unreasonable belief. And sometimes it felt really good, and sometimes it made me miserable. But not having it, I don't feel like I miss it. I'm much more able to understand myself and others, much more able to accept differences and flaws. Although illogic annoys me more now than it did before. So, you know, I mean, you can say, well, there's pros and cons to everything, I suppose. But I think that there are more cons to faith than there are pros. And so I think that it's good to let it go. So I don't want to call it a loss. I want to say I'm just letting it go. Moving past, moving on. And all the things that I can acquire now that I couldn't before. I couldn't learn the real history of the Bible before. I couldn't learn about other gods before. Not really. I couldn't ask questions before. Not really. There's a lot of things that I prohibited myself from doing because of these beliefs that I held. And now, there's no prohibition. Thoughts that would upset me before don't upset me now. Except for mortality, which sucks. I still don't like the idea that we're all mortal and there's just really not much we can do about it. Maybe science will come up with something within my lifetime. But I'm not holding my breath. I certainly don't have faith, but I don't need it. Because science can do stuff. But I'd rather be pleasantly surprised that they did come up with something that made it that we would live longer or live indefinitely, as long as, you know, we don't get physically hurt or injured or what have you in the brain. Or it'd be an immortality of age, but not of physical nature. That would be cool. Or they figure out a way to put our brain in a jar and hook them up to a big computer so we just live forever in a virtual reality. Unless we're already there. No, we're not. At least I don't think so. If we are, oh well. No way to know. Lol. But then if we invented it, we'd be a brain in a jar that's a brain in the jar. Whoa, dude. I think the graphics eventually would just start to deteriorate after a while if you kept making a program inside the program. That's the 13th floor does a better job of that than the Matrix does, in my view. Anyways, have you lost faith? Are you losing faith? Do you want to lose faith or leave it behind? Or is this, like me, the statement of losing or lost faith? Is that something incoherent? Now, many of my commenters on these videos are hard-boiled atheists, and they've never been a believer, so they never had a belief moment, which really irritates me. Like, you don't know what it's like. You had it easy. But that's not fair, because they didn't necessarily have it easy. It's hard to navigate a world where everyone's like, cuckoo, and you're the only one that's sane, right? You had it hard in a different way than I did, I suppose. But I'd rather tease them a little bit. Anyway, so, but what do you make of this? Post your thoughts in the comment section below, or totally ignore this video like many of you will. Because they're just not that popular. But I keep making them. Why do I keep making them? I don't know.